How's it going, everyone? It's September 12th, 2024. This is gonna be a top apple. It's probably gonna make the top 5 list. I haven't tasted this one last year. This is the first year that this one is fruited. This is Pixie Crunch. I'm in Zone 8, Northwest Washington. I tasted this a few days ago for the first time, and it just blew me away. So, this variety is called Pixie Crunch, and I don't see very much bug damage or bitter pit or disease on these trees. Maybe a little bit of bitter pit, but for the most part, these apples are looking really nice. It's not a big apple. It might get a little bit larger, but as far as I know, this is like a smaller apple, which I don't mind at all. It's perfect snack size. There we go. Picked one. Look how cool that looks. So let me bite into it and I'll explain what this tastes like. Very crisp, comparable to Honey Crisp, possibly even more crisp, with like a lighter texture. Very well balanced, more complex, I think, than Honey Crisp. Perhaps Honey Crisp has too much sweetness for me. So this one has a better balance, I'd say, than Honey Crisp. It has an interesting note behind the flavor. Can't quite pick it out, but it's really nice. It's not sour at all. It has a perfect balance with on the lighter side in terms of acid. So this will probably be really good for people that don't like sour apples. Kind of like the same thing I'd say with Spartan. It doesn't have a lot of acid, but I like it, even though I prefer apples with a punch. Like, I can eat red Lavieras all day, but even though this is not acidic, some apples just bring out the flavor so well. And if they're crisp and they have good flavor, I don't mind the lack of acidity, even though this does have some acidity, just very little. Very crispy, very easy to eat. I'd say this makes it in the top 5 for sure. And if I was going to bet, it'd probably make it into the top 3. Another one that actually makes it into the top 5 and maybe even into the top 2, I tasted a couple days ago. I have one in my pocket. This is Kerr crab. It's even smaller than that. Kerr crab has a flavor that no other apple that I've tasted. Even Wixon crab. Wixon has a very unique flavor of its own that no other apple has, but this has a different flavor. I've described it in my other video, so you can go check it out. I just wanted to give one last shout out to Kerr crab, because I think this apple's gonna make it into like the top 2 in terms of flavor and texture. So go check out my other video on Kerr crab. But since I was mentioning, you know, apples that are going into my top 5 list, this is definitely gonna make it into the top 5, and so is this one. It's that good. So highly recommend people plant these. Kerr crab is extremely cold hardy down to zone 2. Pixie crunch, I'm not sure on the cold hardness how high up into Canada it can be planted, but we have some pretty cold climates in the United States too, so people might be interested in planting Kerr crab up in zone 2. I can eat these 2 all day, and if I was to walk out on any given day and I had apples to choose from, I think these 2 would be the go-to for sure, especially during this season. Both of them are perfectly ripe. September 12th, zone 8, Northwest Washington. No sprays. This tree is grafted to Pacific crab. These are the root suckers coming out. If nobody knows, if some people don't know what the leaves look like on Pacific crab, they kind of have this triple leaf. There's a normal apple leaf, and here's the root sucker. That's Pacific crab. Malus fusca, botanical name. A very good rootstock in wetlands, can tolerate extremely swampy conditions, but still does have its limits. The most tolerant to wet soil if you have a wet area and you want to grow some apples. Like me, this is wetland here, and I have perfectly good apples, no sprays, very little maintenance on Pacific crab. You don't need to stake it, makes a very nice sturdy tree. Do have to trim the suckers. I forgot to trim these. I can also root these and make more rootstock for Pacific crab. So don't forget to like this video, and if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe, as I will continue posting videos and tasting the apples that I grow. I have close to 400 varieties now. So if you want to stay updated, hit the bell, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.